Hello everyone, today we're going to solve a lead code problem, best time to buy and sell stock. Okay, so you are given an array of prices where prices of I is the price of a given stock on the ith day. What does this mean? That means in your ith day, that is the price you are given. Okay, for example, here let's assume it to be the first day. So in your first day, you are given a price of 7. Okay, now the problem here is that in the upcoming days, you have to sell the product. That means, for example, in this day, I buy this in the price of 7. I have to sell it either in the next day, where I sell it for one price of 1, or I sell it in the next day at the price of 5, or I sell it in the next day at the price of 3, or I sell it in the next day at the price of 6, or I sell it in the next day at the price of 4. If I bought the product in the price of 7, for example, if I buy that a product at the price of 1, I can sell it in the next day for the price of 5, or I sell it in the next day for the price of 3, or I sell it in the next day the price of 6, or I sell it in the next day at the price of 4. If I buy it for 5, then I sell it in the next day for the price of 3, or I sell it in the next day for the price of 6, or I sell it in the next day for the price of 4. And this continues. I buy it for 3, I sell it next day for 6, next day for 4. I buy it for 6, and I can only sell it in the next day of 4. Now what we have to find out is we have to find out in which day I will get the most profit. The profit, this is the profit. How do you find profit? You take the selling price, or you can just, take the buying price of whatever and subtract it in your selling price. I'll quickly explain it. For example, let's say I am buying it for 7, the price of 7, and the next day I'm selling it for 1, then I get a loss of 6. I'll quickly share with you what I mean. For example, let's say I am buying for 7. So right now I bought something for 7, and I am deciding to sell it on the next day to check whether I get any profit. Here I am getting only loss, and here also I am not getting a profit. Here also I am not getting any profit, and here also I am not getting any kind of profit, and here also I am not having any kind of profit, because if I buy it for 7 and I sell it for these amounts in next day, then I will never get any profit. Now let's buy this product for 1 rupees, one amount 1, and let's try to do it the same thing here. Now when I buy this for 1, I can only sell it in the next days. So 5, 3, 6, 4. So when I buy it for 1 and I sell it on this day, where I can sell it for 5, I can get a profit of 4. When I sell it on this day, I can get a profit of 2. When I sell it on this day, I can get a profit of 5. When I sell it on this day, I can get a profit of 3. Okay? Now let us go to this date. Let's start selling it. Let's start selling it on these days. Then I buy it for 5, and let's say I sell it for 3, I get 2. Here I bought it for 5 and sell it for -2. When I sell it here, I can get for 1. When I sell it over here, I get -1. That's a loss. Now when I buy the product for 3, then I can sell it this day, I can get a profit of 3. Then when I sell it on this date, I can get a profit of 1. Now let's say I bought it for 6. When I go here and sell it here in this date, I get a loss of -2. In this you can notice that this is the maximum amount of profit I can get when I buy the product for one price of 1 and I sell it for 6 price of 6. I get the maximum profit of 5. Now this is the answer we need to return on the output. In this, I'm going to be using two variables. The first variable is going to keep track of the minimum price that we have so far, because if you can buy a product you for a minimum price, we need to keep track of that. So I'm assigning it the max value for the minimum price. Next, we're going to make a profit in max profit. So we need to find out the maximum profit we can get. Now this problem can be solved by using two for loops, that is two passes. You can solve it using two passes. One pass for this one, for tracking this number, and you can just another for loop to track through these numbers, the next ones, right? So first, let's go through the solution. The solution is very simple. The first thing we're going to do after we initialize both of the variables that will help us to keep track of the lowest price as well as the maximum profit in just one pass. So if one pass means we're going to use only one for loop, we're going to go through I is equal to 0 today to the last date. Let's draw length and I plus plus. Now I'm going to keep track of the lowest price so far, because you want something to start with the lowest so that we can calculate the profit if we sold at that price. So let me just quickly show you that if my current whatever prices it is, okay, whatever price it is lesser than the mean price, okay, is less than the mean price, then we can absolutely put the mean price, we can update the mean price to be that prices of I. Okay, in our first case, if you remember the array, this will check if this is minimum, in this case integer the max value is going to be greater than 7, that means 7 is lesser, so this min price will get updated with 7. Okay, now we will calculate the profit if we sold at a current price. How will we do that? For that, we need to give a else if condition. So after we update that, we will take the prices of I, that means we will minus whatever price it is with the mean price, because that is how we will check our profit, and we will check whether that number will be greater than the max profit. Okay, if it is there, then we will update the max profit. We will update that with prices of whatever we minused. Okay, mean price. Okay, then that's it. You just need to return the max value. So we will say, so when it comes to 1, it will go and check if the mean price is currently 7, so this will check with 1, and 1 is the mean price, so this mean price is currently updated with 1, and then the for loop moves again, it does I plus plus, and again it comes to 5. Now this 5 will not satisfy this condition because we already got a minimum price that is 1. So now this 5 will be subtracted by minus 1, and we will get some profit, like say 4. This 4 is greater than max profit, which it didn't still get updated, it's still 0. So that max profit will be equal to 4. Now it will just continue, it will go ahead with the 3, and then it will go ahead with 6 and then 4. You can see that it is very optimal than the brute force approach, where we have to go through every single number and check the profit. Okay, so once it will also keep track of the minimum value, as well as it will keep track of the maximum profit you will achieve. Let's do for this case. Let's see what happens here. Let's